Taiwan is a very safe place. On my bike, I had just like a giant Tupperware box, and it didn't have a lock, and nothing ever got stolen out of my bike. But it's a really safe place. And so tips for safety, I mean, stay with your companion and listen to the spirit, but it's not really a big threat. Clothing tips, I would wear leggings under my skirt every day because you ride your bike every day, whether it's blazing hot or pouring rain, you will wear your skirt. I mean, you will ride your bike. You will ride your bike in a skirt. And in one of my areas, the wind was so big. Like, it was just, the wind would like push me over a few times while I was riding my bike. And so leggings are a very good idea. It gets really hot, so if you can just find thin fabrics that you don't need lots of layers for, that's really great. And then for skirts, there's a kind of skirt where it has like the under part and then it has like a pretty, almost like a netting sheer thing over it. Those are really pretty, but those get stuck in your bike and they rip so easily. So I don't recommend that kind. And then darker colors are better. I had a few skirts that weren't, but darker colors are generally better because your skirt also gets stuck in your bike brakes. And so then you get stains on your skirt. So yeah, that's my advice on clothing. And then for shoes, I definitely recommend Crocs. They're not the most flattering thing in the world, but I had Crocs and I loved them so much. Crocs are wonderful. For a bag, I have scoliosis, and so I had a bag with a waist strap, and it was the best thing ever. I had a shoulder strap and a waist strap, and I loved it, and I wore it every day with pride. I loved it. And then it does get cold in Taiwan, so you can buy a jacket there. I didn't bring one, and that was fine. I found a few coats in my closet at our apartment that other sisters have left there, so that was fine. And you can buy a coat in Taiwan. But scarves are good. Fleece gloves. Buy fleece gloves. Those were wonderful, because when you're riding your bike and it's raining, it's freezing. So bringing some fleece gloves is a really good idea. So when I first got to Taiwan, my birthday was coming up and my mom emailed me and she said, "What food do you miss the most?" And I answered back, "Canned chicken." And then my mom sent me some canned chicken. I didn't expect her to, but she did. So you cannot find canned chicken in Taiwan. And that package was wonderful. It was wonderful. Yeah, it was really great. Most of the time in Taiwan, then we go outside to eat. We just buy food outside because it's so cheap and it's faster. And yeah, so we would go outside for lunch and dinner almost every day, except when I was in training, because you have that extra hour of studies when you're in training. So then we would just study and then eat lunch inside and then go out. But after training, then you study for 3 hours, then you go outside, and then it's lunch. So you don't really go back to your apartment to eat very often. And then supplies. Taiwan does have imported supplies, but it is a little bit hard to find deodorant and tampons and like hygiene things. Like the normal like toothpaste is like fine and stuff, but deodorant and tampons were a little bit harder to find, and razors were hard to find too.
I would actually recommend buying shoes over there. What a lot of the sisters wore in our mission were these Crocs. That they have cute Crocs, like, because they've got a good market for those because they're waterproof. And so I never bought some, but I wore some that a friend let me have. They were just silver rubber shoes, basically, that are like in the shape of dress shoes. And it sounds really tacky and probably not something you probably wouldn't want to wear rubber with your nice skirt now, but over there you probably will want to. And we all did it. All the sister missionaries did it. So obviously, like, you could buy a pair of nicer shoes here, but I would definitely recommend taking one of your first P days to go buy a pair of those Crocs there. Definitely get a good jacket coat thing that's waterproof, although not necessarily, because we also, when it's raining, it doesn't matter how waterproof your jacket is. You're going to get soaked and you're not going to want it to get that wet. And so we would actually wear these, they're called yuris, and everybody wears them when it's raining. It's like a plastic yellow or blue, brightly colored bag that you just wear over you. And it's really funny. I remember thinking they were really funny when I first wore them, but after a while you just get used to it, and it's just like, oh, it's raining. Put on this trash bag. Yeah. For a sister, some people told me that I would never be able to buy tampons there. And so I stocked up on like 18 months worth of tampons before I left. We got a good deal at Walgreens. But never mind, I won't go into that. That's too much information.
But you can't.
Just know that your body changes on your mission sometimes if you're a girl, because it's a very different diet and climate and stuff like that.
And can you buy those kind of?
You can, but they're a little more expensive. Somebody told me too, you can't buy deodorant, but you can. Okay. And there's some food things that you may miss. I can't really remember what they are now. Mexican food, you'll never get there. They just don't have Mexican food. Things like cold cereal, tortillas, cheese is actually, they don't really have cheese there. Like, you have to go to a Costco to get it.
Can you get things like Tylenol and Advil?
Yeah, pretty sure.